Okay, so in the middle of Eis Daled. So the basic shaila is that David will have two questions. First of all, why is he asking for Taam Vodaas Lamdeini when the whole union of the psukim here is not the union of Havana Vasaga, not understanding? That's not the intent of the psukim that we say before Tkiyah Shofar. And then he asked, the reason he asked is Kibi Mitzvah Manti, pointing to his quality of emunah. Every year has emunah, manim minim b'nei ba'minim v'adarabah. On the contrary, the emunah of the Ish Pashat is far greater. So why is he pointing to his virtue of Kibi Mitzvah Manti? So to understand that, he began to explain in his Daled the different levels in Torah. We should start again. How far did we go there? Not very fast. We'll start again. His Daled. Achinyin who. Oh, and another question was that what's the connection? He wants to understand Taam Vodaas Lamdeini. Why? Because mitzvah hamanti emun is makif. How is that a reason? How is that a reason, a justification? Emun is makif. He's asking for pnimistic thing. He's asking for understanding. So that question is as well. The cause and the effect have to be related. The cause being my emunah, and the effect is understanding. The different worlds. So that's the third question. But the Indian is, like he explains the defeat Rebbe in that Maimer, Tzadik Vov, Sheyesh Kama Madregis B'Torah, there are many levels in Torah. There's a level of Torah the way it is down here, understanding. Number one. Then there's V'Shoresh HaTorah B'Chines Chachma Datzilus. Then there's the Shoresh as Torah is in Atzilus. Like we say in benching, thanking Hashem for your Torah that you have taught us. So it's Mavur, he brings Yef Malkut Torah, that Al Teiroscha. Batzilus, it means your Torah is referring to your Torah in Atzilus. And where are you teaching it to us? That it comes down and you have taught it to us, conveyed it to us in Bria and lower. So the order of Madrigas as we approach learning Torah from below to above. So first of all, Madrigas HaTorah K'meishi B'Biyah, this Torah the way it is in Biyah, in creation. Then higher, now, Batzilus Gufa, that's two levels. Now, in Atzilus itself, Medayik Teiroscha. So there's a double diak here. The fact that you say, Shilimadatonu, you learned us, you taught us, so you brought it to us. Where are we? We're in Biyah. So where are you bringing it from? You're bringing it from Atzilus. That's what's descending. But the further diak is that had it said, that would also convey the same. You taught us Torah, which we would not have because it's Eilam Atzilus, and you brought it and you gave it to us. But the diak is, even as it were in Eilam Atzilus, he says, Teiroscha your Torah. So this is the third darge. Batzilus Gufa Medayik Teiroscha. Follow, even if it wouldn't have said Teiroscha, it would have that same teaching. We don't have it. It's beyond us, and we taught it to us. Because Torah is an Atzilus. But the diak is, not only that, it's Teiroscha, meaning, Shebechinas Chachma Ilah Datzilus. Third level, we're not talking Stam Chachma, but Chachma Ilah. As we mentioned yesterday, different levels of Chachma. Fourth level, not just literally supernal chachma, but kodum, primal. Chachma kdum shelachei nikra asateri b'shem mashal. It will soon give us the dargis l'mayla to what this we're talking about, but so far in general terms, and therefore Torah is called b'shem mashal akadmoni. The pasuk in Shmuel refers to Torah as the primal parable, Hashem's primal parable. Primal meaning kadman, implying really that there's nothing that precedes it, the ultimate primary source. So that's all the dargis in Chachma. So what are these Taam? There's Chachma Datzilus, there's Chachma Ilah. First, there's Torah Lamata in Avon Masoga, in Bia. That's Torah Shlemat Tanu. That's number one. Number two, Chachma Datzilus, Torah Chachma Ilah, and not only Chachma Ilah, but Chachma Kduma Moshel Akadmoni. Then, in addition to all that, all of these levels are related to Chachma. More sublime, and more sublime. But in addition to that, there's also Taimei Torah, the reasons of Torah. Taam Gufa Yeshtam Kamei Fanim. In reason, there are many ways, many Fanim, all kinds of levels of explanation. But Taam has to do, reason has to do with Einig. And this is the delight, the tainug that a Yid has in Torah. We'll soon see this higher or lower. In Pashtus, it's lower. Because reasons, that's Vameshav on the Vasaga. Time him. But he's telling us now it's bound up with tainug. And we all know tainug is in atzmi, it's an essential state. So let's see. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, your laws, your statutes are songs for me. Why is he invoking the union of songs? A song is something you can sing, and we do over and over again. It's a tainug shaboy. A dvar seichel to hear over and over again becomes boring. Even a joke at some point gets boring, repeated again, because it's still connected with seichel. But music we hear again and again. Why? Because it's the inyan of tainug, which b'chlal is higher than seichel, and therefore timing of Torah connected to tainug, and David HaMelech therefore describes Torah as a song. And of course he was punished for that, as we'll see. The Gemara says.
I'm sorry for a second. Taamim Shabbat Torah, you're speaking about the trop?
No.
Or Taamim, okay.
Taamim as in reasons.
Taamim as in reasons?
Yeah, l'chora.
But maybe Taamim is also the musical cantillations of each of the way it's written in Torah. That's perhaps. I'm just asking.
I don't think so. No, it doesn't mean the top. But you know what? I don't think so. Doesn't sound like it. Okay, let's.
Because it's brought down in the Torah many times.
Tenor.
Exactly. Time is the Kudus Isis. I'm just wondering.
There's something about tenor. Should place it in the basket.
No, there Tinta. There is Tavis, Timim, the Kudus, Lysius.
Yeah, right there with Tavis too. Okay, sometimes it's just tenor. Time.
No, Tavis,
Okay, no, okay. Akalponim.
Could,
Let me
anyways.
see here. Okay, you know, you may be right. One second. No, doesn't look like it. No, it means he pushed the reasons. I'm just looking further. Yeah, okay, we'll see further. Kanira, I'm just looking at Ois, we look at Ois Zion later. Revisits it. Time Yitersh is Galalas love, different levels of time. Okay, let's go further. I mean, Bechlal, when you have, in general, you have a reason, you have a geschmack in it. That's why Taam means reason, means taste. Because when something is understood, so you have a taste. And that's tainuk, that gives pleasure. If you do it that paradoxically, Pnimius HaKeses is Galadafkin Bina. That's what the Gishmak is. But anyway, we'll go further. So being in Zeh, Shibach, Mailis, HaTorah, and it's this that the timing, the reasons that David HaMelech praised the Torah. What's the story? When David HaMelech was in a situation which was the opposite of revealed good, so to comfort himself, in the time of his suffering, persecuted by Shaul and so on, Omar Zmiris Hoyalichukecha. And later, he said, your chukim are like songs for me. And this is the delight in Torah. And he explains in Tanya, what's he thinking about? Here he's suffering in this world. But then he considers that all of the worlds are all dependent on one nuance of Torah. Torah paskins one way, the world is elevated. Torah paskins something is asur, then something is plunged and is rejected. A single korban elevates all of the behemoths and the flour and the oil, and one detail not observed properly, the diktukal, means the whole aliyah doesn't happen. And all of creation is dependent on a diktukal, which means a light, literally, detail of Torah. And that was his comfort. Because in other words, you're saying the whole world is Ayin Ve'efes, relatively speaking. Your Torah is far superior and is the master of the world, even in its smallest detail. The master of all of the Olamis. So that's where he found comfort. Which says Nachem, the fisher called in Yoni, everything in the world. What value is it? Of what significance? Compared to the Zmidas, the Tainug of Torah. And through so doing, he drew down here that be manifestedly good. But he was punished. The whole story there, that the Aaron was captured by the Plishtim, and all kinds of terrible things started happening to them. So they realize it's because they have the Aaron, and so they let it go. And David the Melech, either he put it or he allowed it to be placed on a wagon, and it was traveling, and the animals were leading it. And Uziah, the Aaron was going to fall, and he put his hand out to steady it, and he died. And the whole schet was, he forgot, David HaMelech, that the Aaron can only be born on the shoulders of the Leviim. As the Gemara says, every child knows that. It's a pasuk in Chumash. But he forgot and allowed it to be carried on the wagon, and hence he was punished. So the Gemara asks, why was he punished? That he forgot such a din? That's not handsome. So he was punished for saying these words. You call my Torah songs, says the Eibishter. Songs. So therefore he was punished that he forgot this halacha. Because everything he's describing, David HaMelech, is all the level of Torah, the way it's connected, the person who learns it. For B'chinas HaTainug, this is a taka level of Tainug, it's miris, but still, B'chinas Chachma Kduma. It's still all connected to the seichel dimension of Torah. And it is seichel. That's why he's punished. Because even time in Torah, even the Tainugim in Torah, that's still not what it is. The true yin of Torah is Mashakosavaya Etzlai Shashuyim. The Torah describes itself, as it were, in Mishlei, and I was before him an object of delight. Before him, Shashuy has been Adam totally beyond the delight of man. Kim etz loy dafke, his. This is not the level that he speaks of, but this is a tainug atzmi, an essential tainug that is not drawn into chachma at all. Okay, we have to understand. So what does this mean? If it's not understood, so we learned it's in of the ear. It's deeper than seichel. We'll see later in the Maimon. And even though, wait a minute, the tainug that is drawn in this highest level of chachma is also tainug atzmi. K'maimer, pnimius abba, pnimius atik. The pnimius dika level of what? Of chachma, which is chachma gduma. What's found there? Pnimius atik. So there is a tainug atzmi. And there is mekamal k'mar yedua. Nonetheless, this is an important point coming now. It is known she pnimius atik me'sheba pnimius abba. So the way pnimius atik comes in pnimius abba, is invested in it, this tainug atzmi, it's compromised. It's not at all comparable to pnimius atik, the tainug atzmi as it is in its place, not filtered at all in chachma. Yeah, the difference is so great. They're incomparable. The tainug that is filtered through a level of understanding is incomparable to the tainug atzmi of Torah. It's completely higher than even kadmus haseichel. So we don't mean this reason in the conventional sense. It's certainly not logic. It's much higher than logic. I'll just say this. So then what's the reason here? Where's the gishmak? There's no seichel. The gishmak is the author. Oh, so it's you in this. It's the experience of the Noisin HaTorah Mamish, the author. That's you. And this is how you have chosen to express yourself. So really it's hide and seichel, it's b'chiras ha'atzmus. It's the Eibish's choice to reveal himself in these halachas and these words. And that's the true tainug atzmi. And that's why it's be'en aroich, it's incomparable to any tainug that's filtered already with some measure of intellect, even kadmus asech, seeing the beauty of the insight. This is more than the beauty of the insight. This is the beauty of the author of the insight. Concluding, Misham zenen as David ben Yashikha, so therefore David was punished with forgetting. Sheshikha v'zikardim him afachim. Forgetting and remembering are opposites. Menakotze lakotze. Right? Instead of knowing the halach, he forgot it. So why is he getting menakotze lakotze, an extreme punishment? Here he's saying he's talking about learning. And what is his punishment? He forgets halacha. Why so extreme? Because the true pnimius HaTorah is menakotze lakotze from what you're describing. You're describing a level of Torah, of tainug, which and the highest levels. As pnimius atik is nimshach and pnimius abba. But that's still filtered in seichel. And the emes of Torah is menakotze lakotze. The Eibishter himself, atzmos v'hoya etzlich shashuyim, is totally beyond the greatest profundity possible. Menakotze lakotze. And therefore, what's his punishment? You're talking about Torah, you forgot a simple halacha, an extreme punishment. We clear? Yeah.